Why'd you do it?
No.
Do you know why you're here?
What is it of your concern?
Let's not fool around.
It was self-defense.
All of them? Let's start with somewhere familiar. Do you remember the night of the 14th of October, 1936?
Yes. Miss Kathy Miller. She did more than just tell them off, detective.
Did she now? Well, what exactly did she do to them that could possibly be even remotely sinister?
You saw where I left her, knife in hand, blood everywhere. She was tossing their bodies into her garbage disposal. Now you tell me who the sinister one is.
Blood? Garbage disposal? She was preparing them a meal. The meat chunks you saw was sirloin. The blood was tomato sauce. She was making her guest a meal. For God's sakes, they were in the other room when you strangled her.
Were they now? Were they really? Or were they halfway to the compost across state lines? I know I'm right. No need to have me explain them myself yet again.
Well, there's no point in continuing with this file. I know you're not going to admit guilt here.
Because there's none to be admitted.
November 22nd, 1938, just 2 years after Kathy.
You're going to have to remind me on this one. Specifics are always a blur on the earlier occurrences.
Well, that's quite shocking. This was one of your more brutal encounters, and Richard was so young.
Just because he was short doesn't mean he was young.
Regardless of his size, he was in the prime of his youth. Do you remember that night or not?
You know what? I think it's starting to come back now. He was the redhead, right?
Yeah, and who was he intending to slaughter again, William?
Are you mocking me, detective? Because I believe it was you who stopped me this session's earlier entertainment. Okay, you got me. I remember it.
So why'd you do it?
He was a heartless murderer and a damn good actor. He almost had me when he begged for his life just before he lost consciousness.
You sick bastard.
Why? Because you fail to see the bigger picture here? Society labels me as crazy. Just because I see patterns that others can't, I'm a nut. All because I slayed a life to save 10. I'm a lunatic.
You're right. What are we doing here? We should be at town hall awarding you a medal for your outstanding citizenship.
Please stop mocking me. Can we continue?
It's your lead. What are you willing to share?
I remember it was warm out. That's rare for the city, you know, but then again, I do suppose we were more in the suburbs than town.
Go on.
It was funny, the ratio of the shovel to Richard's body, it was nearly as tall as him. He was digging a grave for another unfortunate victim. Lucky for the most recent, I was there to prevent his death. I had forgotten my wire at home. However, Richard had provided me with a way to dispose of him in a less humane manner. I took the shovel, bashed him in the head, and buried him for the most part alive.
You know that wasn't a grave he was digging, right?
Well, then if you'd...
It was a time capsule for his baby daughter.
Bullshit.
Call it what you want, but deep down in the frozen pit where your heart should be, you know it was a time capsule. Right.
And the other three were... the others children. I was saving lives. Please, you flatter me with your poetry. It was Richard who was the Malefer.
Why won't you admit guilt, damn it?
Because I have none to admit. I know I've saved many lives, so many lives, and I know I may never get thanked for my tasks. But those are all sacrifices.
Why murder them then? Why not just report it and move on?
It's never that simple, detective. It's never that simple. Just look at Kathy. Did she appear to have the power to do such horrible things?
No, she didn't have the power, and she never did such things. She was a sweet old lady that was cut off from the world before her time, and it was you who greased her way into the afterlife with her own blood.
Even if Kathy didn't kill anyone, and I'm not saying she did kill them, you know Richard was a murderer.
Richard was just as innocent as Kathy. He had 4 loving daughters. The only thing Richard was being guilty of was being too much of a father.
And the only thing I'm guilty of is caring too much. Let us move on.
January 2nd, same year.
Michael? Well, we both know this one deserved it.
Deserve it or not, it was the law to have him tried in court.
Well, seeing as how he was tried and proven guilty the first time, what makes you think that he wouldn't get off the hook the second time?
He was innocent the first time, as the courts proved, and we don't even know about the second occurrence. We never did find the murder weapon. He was just a guard cleaning his gun. That doesn't mean he killed people with it.
I saw him cleaning it, getting ready to kill again.
So tell me what you did see, and what I and the court obviously couldn't.
It was sunny.
Yes, we already know that.
Let me finish. It was sunny. Michael was just about to charge into a local drug dealer's home and execute him in front of his family.
How could you have possibly come to that conclusion?
Because he was cleaning his gun in his car just outside the dealer's door. You know just as well as I do what his intentions were.
It was simply a coincidence.
What part was the coincidence, detective? The cleaning of the gun, or where the officer was parked? Because it all fits pretty well together to me, but maybe this is my calmer self getting out.
Even if it was a coincidence, what about Kenneth in 1942?
I'm not guilty of anything.
Julia, 45.
Not guilty.
Samson, 48.
Not guilty.
Mark, 52.
Not guilty.
I claim this. If you're not to blame, then who is?
Don't you see, detective? You are.